If somebody was seeing your work, what do you want them to take away?
So I think my process here at home is about building relationships and sort of have this kind of continuous visits or sort of continuous friendship, I must say, because sometimes it's not really about the visits are not really about all the time about taking photographs or making photographs. They're not about that. The visits at times are just about, spending time with my friends. My process, it's been about building relation with the community and sort of working on sort of long-term aim. And then my education comes from photographs. It comes from taking photographs and engaging with photographs. I think from the beginning, and when we're thinking about the first body of work, I specifically spent time with a group of women that were cleaning the city at night for 8 months. For an example, like Country Girls, whenever I go to my village in Driefontein, if I feel like I want to go and go and visit friends, it's easy for me to take a taxi and go to Emelo or go to Piet Retief and visit those. And those are people that I've met when I was making this body of work. From there, and then we became like so close that we are sort of like friends right now. With the new work here, I'm looking at landscapes, which is also it's a choice. How I chose not to include the participants in a work like the Garden of Eden, where you just have like elements that they give you a sense of the space, or that there are people around that environment. But I decided not to include like bodies. Sometimes it's about how the environment, you let the environment affect you, and then you respond to that. And I think this idea of moving closer was also about that I want to be closer so that the environment can sort of influence, and then sort of I can respond to that. When we think about ghost towns, like that sort of deserted, empty streets, in small towns. I think I'm thinking about my environment. I'm not just thinking about specifically with the area where I live right now, but I'm always thinking about South Africa in general. South Africa as a whole. I think the South African landscape has like a big influence in my practice.